Alrighty, another night, already 1:30 in the morning, a new software build, and hopefully we'll have some success. And I have not had a chance to do anything with the server that I worked on, not the server, the 3330 board that I worked on yesterday, so we're sort of starting from where we left off. But the first thing I want to do is just try to get that iPhone 6 set up going again and see if we can have any better luck this time. Let's see. You have got a million parts missing on you, so you're not relevant. Okay, that's the iPhone. Alright, so everybody's turning up. Excellent. Let's clear the workbench a little bit so that I can actually do the work I'm trying to do. Alright, let's go into FlexBoard view. Hey, Tony Nash has a bit. Okay, so iPhone 6. I'm pretty sure that's what I got. Board, preferences, search the server, and so we got iPhone 6, select it, download. Alright, so that's now working, thank goodness for that. And we can put in some data and make some progress. Good evening, Jose. It is quite late for me, but when I'm programming it tends to go that way. Looks like we've got some internet connectivity issues here. Not sure if it's YouTube or me, but we're sort of dropping a few bits and pieces here and there. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Back to pulling out. Hey Barry. Yeah, always pulling out hairs. Okay, so let's go to the quad display. That seems to work best. And I always forget to rotate the meter out, microscope out first. So this is a bit of a rerun from last night in a way, but hopefully this time the data will stay. So quad. So we better get into diode mode. And once we prove this to be working okay, we'll get back to working on that 3330 board. Alright, so we've got the diode mode. Oh, I know what I forgot to do today in my source code. I forgot to make it so that I can actually see how it's green here at the moment, and then it will go red if it's bad. I wanted to be able to actually make that substantially bigger, or really more go for all black or white, because differentiating between green and red out of your peripheral, it just does not work. So anyway, yeah, the eyeballs are not designed to do that sort of thing. So you want to see color out the peripheral? Get stuffed. And let's see, what do we get that? Which one are we after? That one there. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we're back to this again. What was that? Somehow or another I managed to make ground. It's interesting to note that with ground it was actually being quite difficult about capturing the value, and that's because I have a 10% tolerance on the input value before I consider it to be stable. But obviously when you're on ground you're sort of approaching zeros, so almost anything will create enough noise for it to be ignored, so I'll have to work on improving that slightly. No ground for me indeed. Anyway, so that all looks good. No point putting ground up there. Alright, let's check that those values went in. Let's go to the 3330, then we're back to the 6. Board preferences. Well, that actually makes sense, yeah, because we sent up 2 values. So we'll just download the data again. Yeah, so there were only the 2 values that we put up, which was the SWI connection and the VCC. Ground obviously didn't get uploaded. Alright, let's try now this connector. Now this is a odds and evens. Diode mode, default condition. Let's start at the top. And hopefully we don't mash this up too much. I kind of really want this, not this one. I kind of want to pin the positive somewhere permanently. I don't like holding the positive. I'm almost certain of it. Okay, so here we go. That's that weird one that's got a really high value, but it actually is legit. I suppose I could actually set a threshold option. Ah, jeez, I've got to learn not to talk. Oh, did I capture that yet? Nope. And obviously ground being a big old knock. Is that right? Doesn't seem right to me. Yeah, it seems right. Back to the top now. If you think this is slow, you should try doing it manually. Stomp that pedal pull. It will be quicker once I get around to actually making sure that I can see from my peripheral what's going on, instead of this pinning it down, holding it, looking up sort of business. Like I said, it's still quicker than the other way. I'd be kind of curious if someone actually has access to what do you call it? If someone has access to existing things like ZXW, if they can have a look and see how these values compare. Okay, that's everything. What are these ones up here? Ground. Alright, so once again, nice bunch of things to send up to the server. I don't really have enough room here. So I think if I just make it that you can control the color for the go, no go, and maybe I'll have a option for like oversized representation. So yeah, I've got 3 screens at the moment. Having it directly above is not going to help me because my peripheral really is right on the screen that I'm looking at. So the only other way would be for it to beep in my ear. Yeah. Alright, so that's a good start. 32 networks up there now. Happy with that. Alright, let's get to this 3330 now. Let's see if we can have any luck at all. At this point, we're just going to do a muck swap. Ooh, it's cold. Yeah, this thing's getting wonky. Hey, Paul Gal. I only did one job today. It's just a single iPhone 10 or X. I don't mind which way you say it. Battery, and that was it. Nothing else. That was a little bit too quiet for me. I do like to have about at least 2 iPhone screens to do a day. But that didn't happen lately. Hey, Crazy Joe. Ah, Mark. Hello, Mark. Welcome. Richard. Richard, the iPhone stuff is working now. If you get 1317, 1317. Alright, Muck's time. It's like a little mini SMC. And by the way, that thing that everyone was talking about, the exploded chip look, I'm fairly sure it was this that they're talking about, but that was just a piece of flux. Ah, Mr. S is here. Is he? Really? Actually, I was on Paul S's stream this morning, just watching, that is, as a participant. And it was interesting to see that he snagged onto the situation that a few of us have been getting, where you get 50 volts on your backlight with these new 16-inch boards, and it's kind of a little unsettling. But at least you know the backlight circuit works. But yeah, there seems to be something in the... Oops, that's way too hot. There seems to be something that goes on with the communication and the yeah, this is actually proving a little more. It's definitely not like an SMC stuff that you pick up normally. Yeah, so it will let you send the backlight output to the screen, but internally on that little daughter board, something goes on and they don't actually let it pass through. They keep it as an open circuit. Now I have got one here that is dead. It was giving me... what was it? It was giving me no backlight, and then afterwards it started giving me no image as well. So I'm going to actually take the daughter board on that one, that screen itself, and have a look at it. I'm wondering what's damaged in it. This is a real pain. This stuff is not nice at all. It's not coming off in nice clean lumps like I'm used to. Like if you've ever done SMC replacements, you know what I mean. Yeah, normally you can get a nice chunk come off, and infrequently you will get an SMC like this. It's just a bit disappointing. Hello, look at that, look at that. Did you see that colour coming up? What does that look like to you guys and girls? What does that look like? That looks awfully suspicious to me. Hey Vivek. Awfully suspicious. Arnold G's on the ball. The G-man is right there. That's kind of interesting because there was no indication that there was any liquid damage remotely near this area. Now, I could be wrong. It could have just been some random bit of blue-green, coppery, crumbly trash for another reason, but it's kind of feeling like it was the muck's got corrosion. Let's hope I can get it off without doing too much damage. It's all about the mucks. Well, if there was corrosion, I'm not seeing it. It would have been up around here. I'm really not seeing it. Unless it was just off the scraper. I think I gouged. Okay, my bad. That's interesting. The color of the substrate when you scrape it off is not too dissimilar. Yeah, I can see there where I scraped it off. Okay, so it wasn't corrosion. It was part of the chip. So much for that great hope. Still, I am replacing the chip anyway because it is somewhat suspect. Just work our way around the board. Yeah, now that it's in suspended fluid, I can see that's part of the chip. Couldn't see it before though. I'm just scraping up all that edge bonding. Someone take my paper towels. Oh jeez, I'm doomed. Hi Catherine, welcome. By the way, if there are people out there who genuinely feel like they can contribute with the open board data capture, and if you really are interested, and I'm not, I am serious about this, then I am looking to be able to provide capture kits for people that will basically be a license of FlexBoard View, a multimeter that's made for the job, and a foot pedal switch. It'll only just be the 1 foot pedal switch for the enter key. It seems to be all we really need. So if you are generally interested and you can you do have some known good boards and you can do good work, then let me know, send me an email, and we'll see what we can do. It's not guaranteed at this point, but I am trying to organise with certain semi-famous people, semi-rich people, I shouldn't say rich, but people in certain positions, and I'm going to see if we can get things underway. I think the hard thing is you need to have access to good working boards. Oh, Mark, yeah, okay. Chris, how's it going, Chris? That looks clear enough for me. So now we've got to go find ourselves another mux. Rodrigo, you're the guy that I was meant to be talking to. If you get 1317, it works now. So like this is 1317, pardon me, and as you can see we've managed to capture a bunch of data. Like we've already done this connector here. You can see all the values in there. So it is working now. Hey Mark Davenport. Yeah, let's get back to the 3330. Well, Chris, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, you are a bit of a special case, aren't you? Alright, so what is this mux? XP 25.5. So it looks like pretty much everything has it. And by everything I mean a 2850 has it. Oh, I just realised, yeah, I've got 3330 boards anyway, so I don't know what I'm waffling on about. I'll just take it from another 3330. Yeah, Rodrigo, getting the actual board views is definitely the tricky bit. Now I do have some plans for that, but it's one of those issues where it really is a money dependent situation. Basically, I can't do it myself. I don't have the time, but I know how we can do it, or at least partially. As long as we actually can get schematics, we'll be okay. Schematics are the key. So long as we have a schematic, and so long as it's not profoundly different from any existing system, we should be able to produce at least reasonably usable iPhone board views. Oh, that's not. That one was more like what we're used to. I mean, it's going to be laborious, but it's doable. And I think what I also have to do is I need to make FlexBoard View actually become a bit more of a actual board view editor CAD program. Might be easier for the moment to do in something like KiCad. So if you can generate things with KiCad, yeah, I've got plans, but time and resources are a bit of an issue. Because quite frankly, I don't see our friends over in the factories helping us out much. I mean, as it is, the data seems to be perpetually locked amongst a select group over there. I don't even know how Phone Board got access to those files that they did. Yeah, Rodrigo, good luck with that. They seem to be pretty tight with their systems over there. They seem to be more tight than Apple is with their own data. In fairness, I think a lot of the data that you see on ZXW is in-house generated. So it's not like they've taken that all from Apple or Samsung or something like that. I'm pretty sure they've got a fairly hefty army of people there generating that data. So it would ethically sit with me a little funny if I did that sort of thing. Okay, Rodrigo, well, yep, good. You can punch in your values now. Sorry it took so long. It's just there's so many different things that I've got to work on in the software, and even simple changes can actually take a long time. Hopefully you'll find the reorganized preferences, the board preferences, a little more usable. Let's see. It looks tolerable. Now we've got to find ourselves a stencil that we can use. Yep. Stencil time. Hey, Ron Rogers. Okay, so what is this? This is a 3 by probably 40 or 3 by 30 or something like that. Basically, we're just going to have to find something that has something remotely close to the pitch and spacing, and we're probably going to have a bunch of balls that we... Okay, so that's too big. That pitch doesn't line up. that pitch doesn't line up. Likewise, definitely not. Now that is actually the perfect pitch, but not big enough. That's fine. I'll try another one. We've got a bunch of stencils here. Chris, I don't even know if that would work, because this is kind of more like... Well, this is certainly bigger than baseband and PMIC. Let's try some CPU ones. Again, just fractionally off. I do have a bunch of generic stencils as well, so one of those might well work. I'd say that's not even going to be a match. Yeah. It's going to be a pain if I have to go generic though. Yep. They were my primary stencils, as in the ones I rely on and use the most. So now we go to our secondary stencils. The ones that you use when all hope is lost and you need a bit of a light in the world. The first trick, of course, is to find them. Aha. Single ball install. That is certainly not happening. It's like, you know, I've got sort of packets of those things. Yeah, you can see I've been chewing into others. That was to make RAM. How do I write down OL? Just OL. Just type in OL. Or even just O. I'm pretty sure O will even work, yeah. Okay, this is a new stencil I've got. Somehow I don't think it's going to save the day either. Just one of those days that can't be saved. No, smidged off. Yeah, I don't want to do it by hand, Chris. I've been doing it by hand for too long in my life. I need some help now. It will, if you put in O, it will get converted to OL. It's just that the generic input, the input will let you get away with typing OL, but the actual data that gets stored on the server, it will be converted. Man, this is a fun pitch. Oh dear God, we're resorting to circular ones now. God help us all. There is something so very loathsome about circular hole stencils. Aha, we have the winner. Yes, indeed. Alright. Chris, I think you kind of drifted off topic there, but I expect that from you. Okay, this is actually one of the Fixing Things Mac stencils. Fixing things for you. This is the 2015 MacBook A1534. Well, actually, what do you know? Finally, something useful from an A1534. Considering they're completely frickin' useless on everything else. It's like, hi, I'm an A13, and it dies. It's like, ah, poor little guy. Didn't make it. Again. And solder's here to set the mood. Someone's going to give that solder bridge a smackdown hard. Alright, now the only downside is these stencils are not really... They're not really conducive to not bending. They love to bend. So it is going to be a little bit of a biatch. Let's get some solder paste. Get ourselves a little bit of napkin. Hey, Madstech. Mark. Oh, you guys are all way off base today. On the serious side of things though, no, I mean circular stencils are just woeful. When it comes to paste, they're fine when it comes to balls, but when it comes to paste, this style of pasting, I find them incredibly frustrating to work with. Okay, let's just dry this off a bit. Hopefully that should be enough paste for the job. Just gonna wait for all that liquid to just go out and then bobble a little bit. That should do it. Yeah, the lower airspeed does help, but I find even as low as say 10 liters per minute or lower again, and they love to buckle. Okay, man, not doing good for my scraping here. Normally this just sort of, you fold the stencil back and it's probably a bit wet still, that's a problem. And I've got hairs in there already, fantastic. Normally when I do that fold back of the napkin, it will just come off. And I'm trying to think if I can... Microscope cursor is showing. Sorry folks. Maybe I'll just remove it. There you go. Would help if I didn't put this paste in the empty holes. Now you see, normally I would love to just pull that stencil straight off now. And so you would have beautiful square pieces of paste. It's so very tempting to do that. It looks like it even wants to do that. The trouble is that paste is probably, it'll probably bleed out too much. I don't think it'll have enough thyrotrophic substance in it to stop it. Oh, blimmin' cat hairs. Get out of here. I actually put my tweezers into alcohol and then stabbed them into the soldering brass ball to try and clean them up. It works well. You know, we actually use the brass sort of ball of cleaning tips. Just stab the tweezers into that. It often works. Now that I think about it, I probably would have been better off working off putting the tweezers in the middle of the stencil rather than the outer edges, but anyway, we'll see how we go. A little worried that the chip hasn't. I can see a lot of balls there that are not going to stick. So what we'll do is we'll kind of cheat a little bit here. I'm just going to drop some flux on it. And then give it another heat. Definitely still quite a few that don't want to play ball. I think what the problem might be is that... No. Okay, what we'll do is we'll take the stencil off and then we'll put those missing ones manually in. Hopefully there's not too many of them. That's pretty much my fault because I didn't clean it properly. But at least we've got a good supply of balls we can put onto it. But the first thing we need to do is take away all the ones that aren't meant to be there. Mark, yeah, it is tempting to go for the second skim of paste, but I have found more often than not I completely F that up. So it may work for some people. For me, it's the path to F-ups. And I'm always seen to be spending the night at the town of F-up. It could be worse. I could be having to manually do every single one here. Okay, the main thing I'm looking for now is to make sure there isn't one just floating around that wants to roll in like this fella here. That just wants to roll in as soon as I start trying to fix up the other ones. So we'll actually probably tackle that one first. I think the size of the chip can sort of also dictate whether it's a viable option to try and do the re-scrape. Okay. Let's see if we can get this one to sit in. You guys probably... Okay, that one sat in, that's nice. I think it was just a case of I wasn't getting enough heat onto the stencil, but I didn't want to because otherwise it of course naturally would just pop and buckle and that would be the end of that. Okay. Yeah, come on. Oh, fine. That one does not want to go there. One's down. How many more we got to go? We've got one more. And that ball there is too big. That was actually a drag ball. Judge drag. For all the scum parts of your boards. So, Okay, Rodrigo, you've already entered a few. Have you uploaded them? Let's go check to see what Rodrigo's done. Let's see, schematics. Board, preferences. So we've got 32 at the moment. And we've still got 32. Have you... Oh, did you put the iPhone 6 or something else, Rodrigo? I've probably misinterpreted what he was doing. Realised that yeah, if you, Rodrigo, on the right hand column you should see all of the values you put in. They'll be in this section here, and you'll have to then upload them, like hit the submit to server. It is deliberate that I make it a two-step staging process, because it allows you to then check your values and eliminate any dud ones or things like that. That was almost going to be an accident. Ah! Mother flip. Alright, nothing much I can do but cry about it and get rid of the dud. And now replace both. Yeah, Chris, I'm not quite so ballsy as you are. I'm sorry. You know I dream to be the man that you are, but I just can't get there yet. I'm sorry. One day, one day. Tell you what is ticking me right off is just the amount of frickin' fluff that's around this place. Honestly, I need a clean room. It's just absurd, the amount of trash that is in this place. What the hell, man? You're not sticking? Now you will. What the surface tension can be a real thing. It might take a little while to upload them. Just give it time, because it's got to go through an SSL connection and everything like that. And what the heck? They were all still molten that whole time. I nearly botched it all up. I think the problem there was that one was definitely like a ground. There we go. Rodrigo says it is done. Hey, Micromage. Okay, let's go see what Rodrigo has done. Schematics. Let's see, job, board, preferences. Okay, so we're on 32. Download data. Whoa, that is a good number of entries. You typed them in that quick. That's impressive. Alright, so Rodrigo has now added to the diode values for the iPhone 6. Thank you very much, Rodrigo. Let's see if we can spot any of them. The connectors, you say? Yep, sure enough. There's some of the data. Yep. Okay, Sage Touch ones, yet to get to that. Thank you, Rodrigo. Much appreciated. And that's how to have it, you know. Everybody just does a few connectors, and before you know it, we've got everything we need. So thank you again. Chris, are you after the schematics or are you after the board views? No worries, Rodrigo. Like I said, much appreciated. It's great. It's fantastic to actually have someone do that live on the other side of the world, and we can just see there that what you've contributed has added to the wealth of knowledge. Alright. Now I have to try and hold up my end of the bargain here and replace this mux. Travis, yeah, I'm gonna try build the Mac version tonight. I did already build one Mac version, and you'll have to have High Sierra or better. Well, Chris, you know, I mean, ZXW is obviously the superior product at the moment for this sort of thing, but this is for open board data, so it's not just going to be for FlexBoard view. Once someone writes the system, the module for open board view, they'll be able to use it, and then, you know, other programs, maybe even like phone board, will start using it as well. So yeah, there's the opportunities there for everybody to start pitching in together. Okay, I've got to work out now. Let's see, schematic. Where's my pin one? Pin one is top right. Have you ever given a free copy to FlexBoard View? I have to certain people who do certain things in the industry, but what I don't give free copies out to though are, when I get emails from people saying, please sir, can you give me a free copy? I'm only just starting, I don't have a lot of money and things like that. And you know, I get it. Yeah, we don't have a lot of money when we start, and some of us are luckier than others. But for those scenarios, that's what, I mean, there's open board view. And I guess I actually get a little bit miffed or upset when people have this presumption that because they are in a disadvantaged financial position or whatever, that I will give them a free copy, or rather, not that they don't bother to use OpenBoard View. And it's like, yeah, OpenBoard View in itself is it's a good product. We all used it. Lewis used it, I used it, and it has been developed a lot to the point where it is today. There is nothing wrong with OpenBoard View, but if you're going to go commercial with your manufacturer, with your job, and you're making money, then that's when FlexBoard View becomes, a possible option for you. But when I get people who seem to want FlexBoard View off the bat without even using OpenBoard View, it's like, no, get stuffed. It's like, I didn't put it was a good 9 months worth of hard work at least into OpenBoard View for people to decide they don't want to use it because they want an easier route, because I've got PDF cross-linking in this one now. It's like, do it the way we used to do it. Use OpenBoard View, manually search on your PDF. It's not going to kill you. It takes you 10 extra minutes in a job, maybe, depending on the job. But the thing is, once you make your money on that, if you start making enough money on these jobs, then you'll be able to afford to buy a commercial license. Anyway, like I said, it's a bit of a niggly thing for me, because I feel like people are just trying to, when you throw a sob story at me because you don't want to cut paste a search query into the PDF, it just pisses me off. That was a bit of an aggressive jump. That was too aggressive. Sutter Bridge is never going back on sale at that price. The time for it to be bought at that price is gone. Gone, gone, gone. If people didn't capitalise on the opportunity to get it back then, I can't help that. Okay, I'm just checking to see if we at least... Well, it seems like we got lucky. It doesn't look like anything's offset. You probably can't see it, but they look pretty good to me. Well, Joseph, I will grant you that. Oh yeah, there's Landrex. Yeah, you can always use that. There is also another program called Board Viewer or something like that, and it also works fine. So you've got options out there. It doesn't have to be done commercially. Like you don't have to use commercial software. Just as the same, you can use KiCad, or you can go and pay for OrCAD or Candice. What is it? Whatever stuff. Yeah. People put their time and effort into providing options for you to be able to use for free. So use them. And then if you have success, then you can look at commercial options. By the same token, I appreciate the fact that people do ask, because what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to say no. And that's pretty much what happens. So I respect the fact that they at least asked, and as long as they respect the fact that I'm telling them no. Why didn't that switch back? That was weird. Hey Tim, yep. There must be a keygen on phone board. Oh, okay, they've locked it out now. Alright. Yeah, 6 girls. There's not much I can do about that. That was probably Sebastian York that sent that up. But the trouble is, it's always going to be an older version. And now with the OpenBoard data integration and things like that, they're going to run into some issues, put it that way. I mean, there are ways around it. The stupid thing is, what really cracks me up about these people is that They think, ooh, we've cracked it. And yeah, fine. It's easy to crack if you want to do that. Yeah, I'm not crying about that. But what's hilarious is that there is actually an even easier way to crack it, and they have never found it, and they're blind. You know, they're getting so excited about how elitistly intelligent they are, and they completely miss the very easy option. But, one day they'll find it, and then they'll tell me, and they'll gloat all about it, and I'll be like, well, whoop-de-doo. Apparently, this person said that, well, they did say this, they're going to make sure that I never get another cent for FlexBoard View, because they were like, we can't believe you're selling insecure software. And it's like, what the hell, man? It's like, it's not a security piece of software. It doesn't contain any personal data. It's just a utility. So anyway, so I could understand if it held someone's personal information, stuff like that. Yeah, you'd want to make sure it's reasonably secure and can't be cracked. That when it's a board view viewer, that's kind of a little weird. That sounds like someone's just looking for a reason. Mind you, of course, I should be respectful. They've been to Vietnam 3 times, and they also were Albert Einstein's best friend. They have been out into space, and they invented stick-it notes, and they have got 17 degrees at various universities across the world, and they're an extreme hacker. And if they were, they would know that the correct term is actually cracker. Stop poking the bear. Come on, Travis. Yeah, you'll get irate, yeah. But I guess the point is that, people are going to pirate my software. I get that. Nothing's changed in 40 years. The key is that you keep producing a product that people actually want to purchase. You give them a reason to go, you know what? Sure, there's this free crack version, but it's a few versions behind date, and I can't do this and this with it anymore. So, I'm going to pay for my license, show my support, make sure it keeps being developed. It's just the way it goes. I mean, it's a bit like you can get LibreOffice, OpenOffice, LibreOffice. They are different products, I know. But people still buy Microsoft Office. You can get Linux. People still buy Windows. I can understand that a little more though. So it's not always about the actual price. More often than not, there's something else beyond the price that people want. Infamous 10th degree internet warrior, that's the sort. And you always find these chaps. Every chat group you go into and stuff like that, you'll always find one of these people that have done everything, know everybody. Yeah, they're always one better than you. Doesn't matter what it is, they're one better than you. And they're so desperate to let you know that. Just like I am right now to you. Alright, so let's see how this goes. It may or may not work. Better this time. We weren't getting the screen before. Yeah, exactly, Mark. They generally do not have happy lives. Yeah. Okay, well, we haven't got a bong yet, but it is at least showing us the screen, so it's a start. We may have additional issues, though. And you're right, Madge, you can't win against these people. You just have to let them go. And, when they get all postury and threateningly, you just sort of go, okay, whatever. Oh, come on, give me an Apple logo with a boot. Have a look at the stick and tell me that you can boot. like I said, it's definitely better than yesterday. We weren't getting a screen yesterday, but it looks like we still got some issues. Amp draw, I can't tell because it's not even plugged in. Oh, I know what I'm supposed to do the pram reset on this one. I just remembered that now. Not that it should have actually made it much. Oh, well, we'll find out. No, the original BIOS is not back in yet. Yeah. Yeah, we're still not getting pram reset. It's still brain dead somewhere. So we're closer, but not quite. I'll plug in the DC power supply and see what it comes up with. Okay. No bongs that I can tell. Keyboard might be bad. Okay, we got the initial one. Yeah, we're still running way too high. We're at 1.6. It's actually higher than it was yesterday. So no, it's kind of feeling like a board where there's been a bit of a train wreck through it. Like a whole bunch of things taken out. No cap locks. We've got a click because it is a mechanical click. No battery installed at this point. Hey 3X, good evening to you. Yeah, but now I do have light. Now the possibility is that maybe the mux didn't sit down properly. But we do have light. Yeah, because, well, you saw when that mux was being reflowed, it did a big shift. So it's entirely possible that it didn't sit down properly and we've got, you know, smeared balls. The infrared camera is not going to show anything much because all that's going to happen is these two sections are going to heat up like anything, because they are. The GPU and the CPU are hot. RAM, let's see, speakers connected, both sides, I think, is it? No, not this one. But the bong should come from this speaker here, and we're not getting that. This one does not require the battery, no. Okay, let's just start disconnecting things. Like just everything that we don't need. It is interesting because it is initializing the DVD player. We're going to disconnect that too. Okay, so we basically just have speaker and screen, nothing else. Now 1.6 is way too high for this on boot, particularly before it is even actually getting into the OS boot stage. I wouldn't expect to see more than 1 amp normally on these, I think. It does, Yummy Steak, yes. It gives a couple of flashes and then that's it. And that's what's perplexing about it, is it starts up as if it's going to go okay, and then it just halts. And we stop getting the green flashes. just going to move the RAM. I mean, usually if the RAM is the problem, we'll get the 3 beeps. Yeah, we'll get something like that. And this is not what I would consider normal bad RAM behavior, but you never know. So I'm just shifting it into a different slot. The camera is disconnected, Chris. The green blink behavior is consistent as well. It will almost, basically it looks like it always gives me the initial blinks and then nothing. I am kind of wondering whether the mux is not quite done properly. Hey NZ. Yep. Or it could just be a dead GPU for all we know. We'll put the original BIOS back on too, and then we'll try PRAM reset. But like I said, we're not even getting to the point where we can do the PRAM reset. This camera needs to be adjusted. Crotch cam. I suppose I could try a different RAM. Not like I've got a shortage of it around here. Got these DDRs coming out of my wazzles or whatever. Coming out of everywhere. Yeah, we'll do the cheat and put the speaker into the S port. Okay, what's going on here? So you get the initial blink. We've still got that weird thing with the Thunderbolt that I think that actually has to wait until it boots, as in gets into the OS. Yeah. The heat is all here, Chris. I'm just going to swap the BIOS back, and then at least I'm now back to where I was before I change too many more parameters. Yeah, the other thing is it actually could be the fact that there's a bunch of flux on the board now. And the flux that's been sitting around for ages. So it's entirely possible that the flux is causing issues with the various data lines. Get off. Well, I'll bring out the infrared camera just because there's so many complaints. Ah. Hey. It's very consistent with that behavior. You guys better hope that I've actually charged the thermal cam. Seems like I have. Very lucky of you all. What the? And guess what just ran out of battery power? Yeah. At least you can power it directly off the USB-C and get back to work. Just realised I don't have my infrared display up on this one. Alrighty. Let's see, more towards there. Offset's a little bit iffy. Alright, time to plug it in. There we go. So Alright, that's interesting. That's actually really interesting. Are you hot? 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 Are you hot or you're not? Yeah, that's pretty hot. But I think that's actually meant to get pretty hot. But maybe not that hot though. Alright, so I've actually, now that I think about it, we saw that that was getting hot before. In the past we did this test and it was getting hot in that corner before. That. It's definitely dominating in that corner. But I think that's a MOSFET. Kind of curious, what are you? It's definitely on the other side though. Because there's only... okay. So now we will do an alcohol test. Yeah, see this pair here, I'm pretty sure it's those two. But I'll drop some alcohol on there, but I'm pretty sure it's those two that are heating up. You can see there's a crustiness around here, and that is from old alcohol testing. Okay, we're up and running. Yeah, there we go, that one. Okay, so that bottom one. Good schematic. CPU side, rotate it around. Okay, it's Q8361. And that is the GPU frame buffer supply, I'm guessing. Now, the question is, why the hell would that be getting so hot? It could be it's short to ground, or it could be the driver's not doing its job right, or it... yeah, being the low side, that's kind of interesting. It could be shorted. So where's that? Let's have a look at the diode mode on it, see if it's blown through. Let's see. Yeah, it could be passing everything to ground, so it's still being driven, but it's passing it all to ground. Which is certainly much better than the high side short. Okay, 0.13 versus... okay, yeah, that's looking sus, but then again, what I could be reading here is actually the output rail. So if we go to resistance mode and see how that behaves, because you know rails like this inherently do have low yeah, okay, so 118 ohms. and 163. Yeah, so there's no... We'll replace it anyway. It could have a maybe a problem with the gate. The gate might not be isolated, or it could be the driver. Let's check. We should basically get open circuit on gate to source or gate to drown. Okay, 1.2, that's pretty good. 1.3, I can't blame that either, so I'm actually almost more inclined to go for the driver. I'm more thinking it might be the driver. Yeah, Barry, that's right. Barry's got the memory. So let's see, A350, and the driver is on the other side. Now the question is, did I replace the driver the last time? And it kind of looks like I did. I can't tell if that's my crappy soldering or factory crappy soldering. Mind you, given the lack of melting around here, I'm kind of thinking maybe I didn't replace it, so I'm going to replace that. Yeah, I'm going for the driver instead of the MOSFET in this particular case. Mind you, I probably should replace both, because the MOSFET isn't really measuring wrong. You know, it's not showing a short or anything on the gate or between the two, you know, drain and source. Make sure I'm not burning up something else. Come to think of it, I think I've actually replaced these drivers in the past with another board. Wow, you're reluctant to come off. I was very reluctant to come off. Tested the drive and replaced it. Okay, that must be a different board, Barry, because this one doesn't look like I've replaced it before. Oh wait, what'd you say? Test the drive and replace the low. Guess we'll see. Good memory though, Barry. Good memory. I mean, I gotta admit, that's impressive. Well, it looks like they came pretty close to destroying this one. Photographic grayscale only. Well, that saves data, doesn't it? You only have to store one channel of chroma. Now the question is, are you 6-bit, 8-bit or 12-bit grayscale? Ah, I forgot the fume extractor, damn it. You need more flux. It's this pad down here on pin 1. It's extremely reluctant to come up. What is that? Ah, it's ground, that's why. Alright. We will actually get some idea if this is working or not simply by the current. So when I plug this in, if it keeps drawing 1.6, 1.5, we know we haven't fixed it. NZ, can't you get those, you can get the integrated spray cabinet fume hood combinations? So I'm guessing what happens is, in theory here perhaps, it starts up the CPU, gets those first couple of blinks in, and then it tries to activate the GPU and it goes, hell no, and then just gets stuck. Resistors near driver, they could, but I guess we'll just try the driver first as the primary option. Okay, yeah, okay, we're still at 1.3. And we've just got our 3 blinker, but we normally never get any blinks beyond that. And same situation. Womp womp indeed. Well, let's swap the MOSFET and have a look. Try our luck. I don't have the greatest of hope. I'm not exactly sure why it wouldn't. Yeah, anyway. It's an awkward spot to be. I'm not going to take the... what do you call it? I'm not going to take the heatsink off. Do you need my fume extractor on? No, we didn't do the FET already. I chose to do the driver first because I couldn't really find anything explicitly wrong with the initial measurements of the FET. And the driver was going to be an easier, on the other hand, it looks like the driver was not going to be the easier replacement. The FET came off easier. Oh, things that trick you up day by day. Okay, these FETs are actually a little bit different in model. Now, that would normally cause me to actually replace both in that case. Just in case their turn on, turn off delay time is sufficiently enough that they could actually have an overlap, but usually the controller should be responsible for managing that. What I'm talking about is when you switch between the high and the low, because you're switching pretty damn fast, you actually have to factor in that these things do not turn on or turn off instantly. So you have to make sure there is a small dwell window between you switching between the gate driving of the two MOSFETs. If you don't have the small dwell window, you will have a moment where both the high and the low are still conducting. And when that happens, it can be fun. You can end up with a rather rapid unscheduled disassembly. Come back here, you little SOB. But I gotta admit, I'm just trying my luck here, so I'm mother flip. You gotta love it when it sits down, but you turn your back, or you think, oh yeah, it's sat down now, I can let go of it. Okay. Oh great. And then it just magically bonds itself to the board. Hilarious stuff. Well, there's multiple factors for the turn-on delays. Yeah, I mean, you've got how fast, what's the gate charge on it? Yeah, is the driver supplying the energy to the gate fast enough? Yeah, what's the capacitance on it? All sorts of. Yeah, there's a solder blob on the back, but it's not a problem. It's just, it's all one big blob, that area. You can tell I'm being rather flippant right now. Like I said, it's not a problem, that blob. Okay, so we've got our 3. Still nothing. Yeah. Yeah, replace the GPU. It's just weird though, if it was the GPU, I'm kind of surprised. I would not expect the low side to be getting that hot. So I'm just looking at this circuitry and trying to work out, basically, yeah, it's hard to explain why that would be getting hot. Other than the gate constantly maybe there's a short between. If I take that MOSFET off, then the gate should be basically open circuit. Or the driver off. Because there's no other real way to create that sort of heat in there other than to have the gate constantly on. There, I think I'll take the driver off again, see what happens, and then we'll also measure around. It's just a little bit peculiar. I should actually measure what that gate voltage is, but geez, I'm lazy. Short on Q8360. I mean, a short on 8360 should still not cause the low side to burn up, because basically, yeah, just don't see that happening. I mean, it could be, but normally to get that sort of heat, you really need the gate to be driven, or the gate to be driven poorly. Like, if it's not getting its full gate drive, then that will also make it get very hot. So we've got two options. One is that it's being driven constantly, the other is that it's not getting a proper gate drive. I just like to cool the board a little bit. Okay. Alright, yeah, we're showing more normal current now. Question is, will we get blinkies? Somehow I doubt it, because it's probably looking for the CPU, the GPU, and going, "Where are you, buddy?" Hey, Joshua. Alright, I'm going to do 2 tests here. We're going to measure the diode mode on the driver output for that pin, and then we're going to test it on the other side of the board. High side FET time. In which case we're probably going to have a dead GPU. But I just want to check that pin first. Let's see. Gate. And it's, interestingly enough, it's this pin here. So we are open circuit on there, so that's good. That's the gate hidden in there. And we are open circuit there. So we don't have any other external interfering source of charge coming in by the looks of it. And people are going, geez, he goes around the things the long way, doesn't he? It's like, yeah, I do sometimes. But then there are other times, like when I'm working on 1466s, and I just sort of open up the case and go, there you go, that's what it is. Rip it out, put it in, away we go. Yeah, sometimes you do a bit of a rabbit run, sometimes... Well, actually, no, both is applicable. Sometimes you go down the hole, sometimes you chase the rabbit. You actually get the rabbit. Alright. High side done. It'd be funny if this one's high side's dead. DeAndriel, thank you. Yes, at 2 AM it's a little bit... it's poor behaviour, isn't it? I don't really set a good example of responsible repairs. Especially, you know, considering I'm heading towards 50 now. I'm not in my 20s anymore. Not like Chris and Lewis. Do you have... I don't... that won't work for this board. That's only for the... That's only for the 2915s. This is a 3330. Alright, I'm going to give it a little flux at least. I'm not that much of a monster that I won't spare a little flux. I just heard a pop. It was a cap going pop. And there's the crack right there. Steve B, what age are you at now? Yep. The cap I don't think is at fault for anything, it's just it was in the wrong place. Let's see. 68 microfarad, polytant, yuck. 67, oh. I'm going to have to remove that, which is really frustrating because they are a bit of a pain in the backside to shift across without doing any further damage. Like every time you put a new one on there, it's also damaged. I mean, tants just love to have tantrums. Like, look at me, I'm a tantrum cat. Yeah, it's like, oh, crikey, mate. Oh, that hurt. Let's have a tantrum about that. Still got audio? Good. I really need to put Velcro onto my headset pack. We'll probably crack this one too while we're at this process. I'm kind of hoping that the leaded will defeat this cap before it. I might be able to get away with not having this cap. I just don't want it on there while it's cracked, that's all. The main reason that tantalum caps were originally used is because they did have a superior capacitance density for volume, but modern day MLC ceramics and stuff pretty much have eliminated most of that. Put a wire over your shoulder. I have tried that and I find it actually extremely irritating, so yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I have thought about that. Like I said, just Velcro will do the trick for me. So in the older days, tantalums were certainly a superior option, but these days, yeah, I just replace them all with ceramics. Like things like C771 and C3950, or whatever, the one on the 2850 board. Swap them out with an equally sized ceramic and they're good. No dramas. Oh, we better put the driver back on actually. That would help. As annoying as tantalum caps are, the cap that I truly hate in the in the surface mount world are those damned metal cans. The metal can electrolytic caps, I hate them with a passion. They're frustrating to work with if you're doing assembly, and they're even worse when it comes to rework. Resistor test. We already did do that test. We already checked the mode of it, the diode mode behavior, and we had the all clear on it. Yeah, see, that's the trouble. You see, I don't want to have to use low melt for things. It's just like leaded solder alone should be enough. That's a lot. Whoa, out of control, Mr. Daniels. There we go. And then reheat it. Okay, we do have actually a little bit of a loss of solder there, so I'm just going to tap that up a little more. They're just a major nuisance to me, those caps, so even on... When I first started doing surface mount designs, I used them, and after that, I did not. It was like, nope, I'm not doing that again. Seriously, Raya? Plug a hard drive, new or old, SATA cable melts off. That's some serious issues you got there. It sounds like the, yeah, I don't know what to think of that. Poltergeist? I'm gonna go with poltergeist. Probably you've got something that keeps blowing the TVS diodes. Oh, on the data lines. Yeah. Backwards. Okay, we're a little lower this time. We're a little lower. It is different this time. But we're still not getting blinks after the fact. I'd say our GPU is dead. I'll plug it into the chassis and have a look, but that should be blinking, and it's not. I don't know if you can do the GPU bypass on the 3330 and the same ease of which you can do it on the others. I admittedly have not tried. Crazy Irishman, the green blink indicates CPU activity. Oh, we could actually still have the problem where we haven't got a PRAM reset, but that still shouldn't be influencing this. Anyway. Yeah, the 3330 is the 2012, I believe. I mean, it is a good board, but they are getting older. This is not the first one I've had behaving like this, though. Okay, I feel like something's jammed under there, but I don't know what. And yeah, if high side was being jammed, cracky. That means our GPU is seeing things it doesn't want to see in terms of voltage. Ah, pram, poor pram. It's probably not going to work anyway. Oh, actually, I don't have to because I realise I put the old BIOS back, but then again, I'll still do it. It's not going to make any difference. It's either going to work or it's not anyway. Oh, shoot. It's not responding. So we've got our white screen and nothing else. No cap locks, nothing. I got the feeling that the GPU is just dead in this one. Very dead. So like I said, that will explain why it gives us a couple of blinks. So it's getting started and then things just die away. That's interesting, it's not responding to that. Bad SMC as well. Sheesh. So we get that. And that's it. No bong, original BIOS. Yeah, it's faulting somewhere and then it just gives up. But it's kind of, it must be graphic related because, you know, when we changed the mux, we got our display back. We've got the heat on the MOSFETs for the frame buffer supply. I'm guessing that's actually the RAM. So yeah, it is, whatever it is, it's graphics related and it's not happy. Just gonna check a couple of little voltages. See if I am actually getting anything. I can check a couple of voltages up here, which is good. Like on that big cap there. Sure, in voltage mode. Already we've wasted way too much time on this anyway. But that's what we do. We're the time wasters. Okay, 1.36. Okay, I'm guessing the other one should be ground. Wait, what? That makes no sense. Unless it's a flyback cap. Ah, yeah, that's boot. Okay, yeah, no worries. All good. So let's see. The one back towards the board. So 1.36. That's about right. It should be between 1.5 and 1.35. So yeah. Now the other one I want to check is on this chap here. 1256. That can't be right. I've got to be in the wrong place. I am in the wrong place. It's not a crack, it's a hair. 1.04, so the GPU voltage is right too. Yeah, see? Hair. For all those people who are panicking that they thought they saw a crack on the filter, the inductor, whatever they want to call it, it was just a hair. Bit of corrosion there. I might just throw this into the ultrasonic and see how it goes. Unfortunately, the ultrasonic is cold right now and it takes an hour to get up to temperature, so that won't happen until tomorrow. But, you know, we replaced the mux and we had some advancements. We replaced the MOSFETs and the controller and we had some advancements. But I have a feeling that we're going to end up in the same sad outcome, which is most likely a dead GPU. I wonder how critical that missing 68 microfarad cap is actually. I should put that on. You never know, that could be causing it. SMC, maybe, yeah. Mind you, we do get green light and everything like that, so it's a little less likely. It's not unlikely, as in it's not improbable, just less likely. Let's see. What are you? 68 microfarad, 16 volts. It's a serious one. I can't do an SMC reset because it won't give me a bong. It won't give me keyboard response. So, as much as I would like to, I am unable to. Oh, nice. Look at this. How nice of him to do that. Yeah. Let's just break everything. That's fine. We'll just take one from up here. Yeah, I'm not sure the keyboard's even working. There's no guarantees around here, that much is for sure. I'm just doing that so that I can pickle it. Well, pickle the connections. And hopefully it will come off without too much trauma. I'm just going a bit slower than normal on this. Okay, maybe it's going just a little bit too slow though. You know, the moment I lose my patience, this thing's going to crack. Just give it some more air though. I smell one of them's cracked already. What am I doing? Yep, Sonia, I am. Should have given up on this ages ago. Holy dooly, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. What the flip is wrong with me? 4 o'clock in the morning. Didn't realise it was that late. I was going to say 3 maybe, but yeah. Pushed it a bit far. I blame you all as always. No. No. So we're down about 300. We're using about 300 milliamp less than we were before. We still don't have a living machine. Machine is still very dead. So very dead. I hate boards like this where they're like, we're almost alive. Just keep trying to get us to work. It's a lie. It's a lie. Alright, that's it. I'm done. I had success with OpenBoard. What am I talking about? I had success with FlexBoard View tonight. Take my blessings where I can. Alright then, well, thank you all for persisting, and thank you for at least trying to help out. We made some progress, but it seems like we're just, banging our heads against the wall here. These are good boards, the 3330, but this one, if that high side MOSFET went, then yeah, I mean, the GPU is probably not going to be too healthy anymore, so that's the way it goes. Alright, I'm out of here. You'll take care. I might see you tomorrow. Until then, catch you later.